Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to my live. My name is Teresa Harper, and I am a independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located in Oregon in the United States. Be sure to let me know when you jump on. Hang on just a minute, there we go. I had to, new YouTube Live is all new to me. So we're going to have a few technical difficulties that we'll have to figure out along the way. And, oh, maybe I'm not live yet. Oh, yep, I guess I am. Go ahead and let me know when you jump on and where you're from. And if you've never seen my channel before, let me know that. Normally, I go live on Facebook every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. However, with some new updates, I am not able to go live, so I've had to try and switch to YouTube. So this is a trial run to see how it's going to work. And then if it works out well, I'll be going live on Tuesday nights at 7. So let's go ahead and see if we have any viewers. And I did go live a bit early, just because I was testing and I wasn't sure how that was going to work out. So let's see what we've got here. And can you see the, yep, you've got live chat. I've got my granddaughter Abigail here watching the live chat.
What is your channel?
So let's see how that goes, and we'll get started here in a minute. Okay, let me see. I'll take care of that later. Go back. Let's go back here. Okay, there you go. Pull this back up so you can see who's on. There you go. So far, it doesn't look like we have anyone on. We're going to go ahead and get started here in a few minutes. Oh, I see Tracy's on. Hello, Tracy. She doesn't show up on you for some reason. I don't know
Yes,
why.
it did.
Oh, it did finally. Okay. I see Lynette Greenhill said hello.
Tracy said hi.
Hello, Lynette. How does the picture look? Got a little bit of a glare from that. Let's see if we can get rid of that for a minute. Let's see. Let's see if I can get this back here a bit further so it doesn't glare so much. There we go. Hopefully that's not too dark now. Oh. Let's turn this other lamp on and see what we get. Okay, there we go. Better lighting. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. I think we've waited 2 minutes for everyone to get in. Be sure to like, comment, and share if you enjoy the content to this video to help me grow my channel. I would really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And hit the bell for notifications so you'll know each time I go live or post new content. Okay, so we are going to be making this quick little box tonight. It uses the Hearts and Hugs stamp set. This is in the 2024-2025 annual catalog. You can purchase it in a bundle with the dies. It has 12 coordinating dies. It cuts out all of the images here. And then you get some additional pieces of banner piece and some flowers and hearts and things. So be sure to look out for that. It's coming. The new catalog launches on May 1st. So I think that's Wednesday. Not 100% sure of my dates right now. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start out with one of the new in colors. This color is Summer Splash. And we're going to make the box first. So let's go ahead and bring in our scoring tool. And we've got a template here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set this up here, and then I'll put it there in case somebody wants to take a screenshot later. So this piece is 7.5 by 5 inches. I'm going to score it on the 7.5 inch side at 1 inch, 3.5 inches, 4.5 inches, and 7 inches. And then I'm going to rotate that and score on the 5 inch side at 1 inch, 3.5 inches, and 4.5 inches. Okay, and that is all of our scoring. This box is really pretty easy to put together. So we're going to bring in our bone folder. We're going to give those score lines a good burnish. Okay. Hope everyone had a good week. I had a fabulous week. Did a lot of preparation for the annual Stampin' Up! Annual catalog launch. Okay, so on the with the long side this way, this short little piece on this side is our glue tab. Now I typically like to take and cut from the back side, so I'm going to cut it at an angle at that first score line from the right, and then I'm going to turn it and cut off that first score line. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing down here. I'm going to cut at an angle on this long rectangular piece, and then I'm going to rotate it and cut off both of the square and the rectangle up to that score line, and that's going to give me my glue tab. Okay, so now this part with the double scores up here, this is the top of our box. The single score on the left is the bottom of our box. So I'm going to cut these up, each of these score lines. I'm going to cut straight up on the rectangles, and then I'm going to angle cut on both sides of the square, which is the glue tab. Okay, so I'm going to cut up on the rectangle and angle cut on the square. Then I'm going to flip it to the other side, and on this one, with this glue tab on my right hand side, I'm going to cut up on the outside of this long rectangle at the score line. And I'm doing that with this one because I'm going to remove this entire section right here at the second score line from the top. I'm just going to cut that over to where I cut up. Okay, so now again, I'm going to cut straight up on the rectangles, on the big rectangle for both of these score marks. Then I'm going to flip that in, and I'm going to cut off the first score line here and on this part as well. And then I'm going to angle cut both sides of the square tab. Okay. Abby, can you grab that pink container up there, please? Okay. So that's all of our trimming. And now our box is just about ready to be put together. But before we do that, we need to round the corners of our tuck tab, because if we don't round the corners of this tuck tab, and this is the one right here that has the double score lines at the top. And I'm just going to, any corner rounder will do, round those two corners so that this will tuck nicely into your box. And then you'll need some sort of a circle punch to give yourself a finger notch. And because this box is 2.5 by 2.5 by 1 inch, I'm going to notch it at 1 1/4. And you can eyeball it. I typically don't do that because I'm not very good at it. So I'm going to notch that there with my simply scored scoring tool. And then I'm going to bring in, this is a 3/4 inch circle punch. You could use a half. And I'm just going to put in just maybe a third of the circle and punch that out for that finger tab. Okay. Now let's go ahead and grab some tear tape. Which I'm pretty sure, nope, I didn't set that on there. I thought I put my punches on there. Okay. So we're going to take our tear tape, and I'm going to flip this over to the outside of the box, and on our glue tab here, I'm going to put my tear tape right along the edge of that score line. I want it on the edge, but not over the edge. And then I like to use my ruler to get a nice, easy tear. And then I'm going to flip this back over. This is going to be the front of our box, so I'm going to put a piece of tear tape at the bottom of the inside of the front. And I'll burnish that down. Tear and tape, it's best to burnish before you try to take the wax paper backing off, and it serves two purposes, because when you burnish it, then it's going to stick better to your cardstock and your box will stay together better. So now that we have that, we're going to take and fold this on the, I'm going to flip it back over to the inside of the box, and then from the left I'm going to fold on the second score line from the left and on the first score line from the right. And I'm just going to line up the top score and the bottom score lines, making sure those are together. And then again, I'm going to give that a good press. Okay. And then I'm going to take and fold my flaps in, fold in my tuck tab. And then I like to put my boxes together a little differently than a lot of people because I like a cleaner inside. So I'm going to put the back of the box in first. And then I'm going to take a little bit of Tombow liquid glue. And I'm going to put it on the inside of these tabs. And I'm going to fold those down. I'm going to remove my wax paper backing on my tear and tape. And then I'm going to square up the bottom of my box. Give that a press. Flip it over, open it up. And then I have a nice clean inside of my box. Okay, nice flat surface. Okay, so this box will hold 3 of the dark chocolate Reese's Peanut Butter Cup Thins. You can just put those right in there. You'll have to fold over the ends, but they will all fit. Okay. So we've got that. Now, we're going to turn this over. This is the back of our box where we put the finger tab in. And this is the front of our box. So let's go ahead and set that aside. I've got a piece of basic white here, which I have cut with the Stylish Shapes dies. Okay, so I've used the second to the largest of the squares. And funny story, usually I design boxes around what fits in them, but in this particular case, I designed the box for the decoration. So we're going to go ahead and put this square down, and we're going to grab the badger image from the Hearts and Hugs. And I'm going to take some basic gray ink. I'm going to ink that up, basic gray, and then I'm going to stamp this down kind of near the bottom and in the center. Okay, so I've got that. I'm just going to let that sit for a minute, and there we go. So now our badgers are stamped. Now while that's drying and before I start to color with my Stampin' Blends, I'm going to add my sentiment. So I'm going to bring in my mini Misty. I'm going to put my little badgers in the corner. I've already lined up my thanks, which is also from that stamp set. I'm going to take my Summer Splash ink and I'm going to, I got a little bit of extra ink on that. I got a little bit overzealous. I haven't trimmed this stamp yet. I'm going to have to do that because it's catching excess ink. All right, so then we're going to take and make sure we're in the corner. Give that a quick press. And because this is a real thin stamp, we're not going to press very hard because if we do, it will distort our image. Okay, so now we have our images ready to color. All right, I'm going to go ahead and clean that stamp really quick. And let's see. So far, I haven't seen much. You guys just must be very, very quiet. Oh, I'm not seeing. Let me go to live chat. That will be helpful. Okay, there we go. All right, so we've got this all ready to go. Now we're going to color this with our Stampin' Blends. And we're going to take, I'm going to hope that let's start with our light basic black. Bring in my silicone matte here. And I'm going to take, well, actually, let's start with light petal pink. I'm going to put some light petal pink here on his nose, on the nose there, and a little bit here in the ears. Okay. And then I'm going to take the light basic black, and I'm just going to color up this little badger real quick. And I'm leaving an opening for the eye because I want the eye to show. And I'm just barely going to touch the ears here. So the basic black is pretty dark, and if you get a little crazy, then you can't see the image. And that's why I'm using the light basic black. The dark basic black is much too dark in my opinion for my preferences. So again, I'm going to go take this middle section. I'm just going to wipe up there on the eye with my, and then go past that eye and leave a little white spot. And then I'm going to color in that ear just a tiny little bit. Okay. So now we've got that. Now I'm going to take my light smoky slate and I'm going to color in the hands. here and here. Okay. And then I'm going to take the dark smoky slate. And I'm going to hope this works. It was very, very empty. I do have a backup, but I was afraid that my backup, because it's brand new, would be really, really dark. Darker than I wanted it to be. So I'm going to try this one first so that I can achieve what I'm trying to. Okay. So we're just going to color these two little badgers. Remember, this is the dark smoky slate. And what I tried to do with these is I tried to make some sweeping, curling motions to go with the direction of their bodies. And then go back and add here, and the feet here, and then I'm going to go under here and very carefully go around those fingers. And once I get that all done, then I'm going to try and do the sweeping motion in the opposite direction. Okay. And then on the belly, I'm going to come back the other direction and try and blend those together. Okay. So there's the basic part of the body. Now I wanted to give it a little bit of character, so I brought in my light gray granite. And again, I'm going to take my brush tip and I'm going to do that same sweeping motion. And I felt like when I did this, it made it look a little bit like fur. Almost like taking the color lifter, but because it's a light gray granite, it sticks in the same tones. And so there are our little badgers colored, except for, I see I missed a spot here. Let's take that light smoky slate and try and blend that together there, like so. Okay, so there's our image, and that's now ready to put on our box. So we're going to flip that over, and we're going to put on some Stampin' Dimensionals. And I don't want it to be saggy in the middle, so I'm going to use 6. 1 for each corner, 2 in the middle. I might have got this one. Yep, I did. Let me see if I can move this one down just a titch. I hadn't pressed it in quite all the way yet, so it's easily movable. Okay. So then we're going to double check to make sure that this is the top and the back of the box. We're bringing it around to the front. We're going to add on our image to the front. And the final touch for this is to bring the iridescent rhinestones. These are on the last chance list. And I looked just before I went live. They're on sale for $4.50, which is $3 off of the regular price. And that only lasts until April 30th. And then they will go away. So I'm going to take one of the small basic iridescent rhinestones. I'm going to put it right below my thanks. And that is our box for tonight. So I want to thank you all for joining me. Again, be sure to subscribe and click the notification button. Appreciate any shares and likes. And I will try to see you guys again on Tuesday night at 7 here on YouTube rather than on Facebook. We're going to try this out, see how it works. Here is the template in case you want to take a screenshot of that. Thanks so much for joining me. I appreciate you so much. Good night.